I need to be singing that song. I I I like. Woo, come on in, y'all hit the like button. What a day, what a day. What a mighty good day. Yes, it is now. What a day, what a day, what a day, what a mighty good day. Woo, y'all heard the word. Y'all heard the word. Pressure. Woo, did I bet with pressure? Didn't Pressure say ain't no jury gonna get removed? The judge said we got a new sheriff in town. And I'm not falling for none of that bull. Y'all, what a day. Kanye came in at lunch, tried to push his weight around. Y'all thought y'all had came up with the perfect plan. Baby. 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 You know I love you. Yeah. I think I like. Yeah. Ooh. I like to try to get him off. I lied and then chuckled in court. I lied. I really tried to do my duty to Diddy. He lied, y'all, and he got dismissed. Did you get a chance to see Kanye? Oh, they really didn't let... Oh, he didn't have his way either. Baby, y'all come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Ooh, come on in. What a day. What a day. What a day. What a mighty good day. Huh? Where do I start? He out of here. Him out of here. Y'all come on in and hit the like button as you enter. I tried to tell Pressure that they was on to these people with their head nodding, giving folks signals and stuff. Baby, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't give, somebody didn't go to that man's house and try to offer him a plea deal. I would not be surprised. What did he say? Let's hear this one
Emergencies
first.
can strike at any time.
Before we get
That's why it's
to
crucial to
my
be prepared.
sisters.
Well, I've slipped and fell twice.
Oh, do I want to hear about the slip and fall?
Fell in, but if you have that much
Do I-
lube and that much baby oil,
Do we want to hear about the slip and fall first? Or do I want to hear about the juror? Baby. Let's hear this, because he didn't even make it. He thought, listen, Kanye thought that he was going to get a special treatment. He thought he was going to get, you know, to walk into the courtroom like he's Scarlett O'Hara, like he gone with the wind and shit. Like he was going to sashay in like, hey, yay, is here to say today. And that judge said, Now, I don't know. Maybe it was Secret Service. You know, I don't know, baby. Today was your worst day. Today was your worst day. I was going to show my face, but I didn't want to laugh in yours because I didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But today was your worst day. Baby, because your homeboy couldn't sashay in. You know, he couldn't come in. He tried yesterday. Secret Service said, you know, him and his freak Zord tried. Secret Service stopped them. Then the day he came in late, thinking he was finna shut it down, be a distraction. Thought he was gonna be able to go into the courtroom with Christian Combs. Is that his name, Christian? Yeah. Hey, Deborah. Thought he was gonna be able to sashay that ass in that court with with a King Combs. Nope, wrong answer. Then they thought he was gonna be able to sit in the room, the extra room with all the people. You know, lights, camera, action. You know, all of that. Then they moved his ass to a private little viewing room. You know, like he on death chambers and shit. Like like he was about to be executed, and the and the victims' families in there saying na 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 dum dum dum. Yeah. So I guess Kanye said, "Oh no, by myself, ain't nobody gonna be here to see me. I can't perform and act a fool. I can't put on a show. Oh shit, I might as well go." No show, I gotta go. No show, I gotta go. This ain't what I flew down here for. I thought I was gonna be able to act a fool. I thought we was gonna put on a show. We had a whole song and dance for their ass. Hey, Cynthia. Boop, boop. They blew the horn. They yanked the sheet off of y'all. They exposed y'all. But it gets worse from there. One of your homie lover friends, one of your black brother, my brother, and the song Black Brother got dismissed. They quit. They broke up with you. You said, love, don't live here no more. You are not going to lie in our face and think we gonna let you stay. That's why I be trying to tell y'all. See, the courts handled this lawyer right here like AunTeaFee would handle. You show your mother, you gotta go. You gotta go. Love, don't live here no more. You can't love bomb me with your lies. And I can't continue to fake the funk with you like I believe. Baby, they walk that ass. Walk that ass out. What? Walk that ass out. Walk that ass out. Come on. Pop, 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 pop. They walk that ass out. They walk that ass right out. Baby, y'all gonna make me cam up. I'm trying not to. I'm laughing at a dum-dum too hard, baby, because you thought you had it. You thought you had it. You, baby, when that girl left yesterday, they left on the no, hey, Leo. Baby, yesterday, she took all that trauma, that abuse. She put all her dirt out there. All her I don't want to call her naivete, in there. All of that. She showed her hand. She exposed herself. She believed her hype. She was your fool. I hate to say it. The pressure, you got that right. She was his fool, baby. But did we beg pressure? Because you said that they wasn't going to get rid of no juror. I told you them shaking of them heads and him in there being dismissive and laughing. They done connected them dots and they got their eye on him. Didn't I tell y'all that? Baby, them tricks are hard. Baby, they are not going to work. All them felonious mistrial here, mistrial there. Their trial, mistrial there, mistrial. Ain't none of that. He said no. No. Chicka. No. And then on top of that, AunTeaFee, you mean there's more? Tell me more. Say they got a surprise witness coming up in here next week. Huh? Somebody done dropped a dime on you. Dropped a dime on you. Drop the dime. What? Drop the dime. What? Baby, boom. Say that white boy, your drug plug that got arrested first. Huh? He said, oh no, you left me out there to swim in that water with them sharks all by myself. You tried it. You tried to play me like you play them O's. You forgot I know all your dirt. I know all your habits. And whoa, baby. Whoa. I'm about to tell on you. White boy gonna tell on him? What? Y'all give my likes up. Today was not Diddy's day. Anybody tell y'all, oh, today was a defense day. Oh, today was a great day for Diddy. They line they ass out. And the truth just ain't in them. They are just as narcissistic as he is. And can't admit defeat. He has sewn his own ass to the jail cell. Do you hear me? They ended yesterday with that call of him trying to persuade that Paul to get her Jane back into the game. Yeah, the sex off game. He was trying to persuade her. That's what they ended on yesterday. Okay? On the note of persuasion, coercion. She like you, man. We got to. I need a favor. I need for you to help me trick her back into, our fuck house. Cause shit, my dick don't get hard unless I see you hooked to dog shit. I got an extra little something for you, dude, cause I got all this astro glide, this slip and slide, this dick slide shit. What dippity do? Y'all remember that? Y'all may not be. Dippity do. That jelly shit that folk used to stick on their hair. He said, I got closets full, garage full, attics full. Don't forget, he has to go through cross-examination just like the rest. Well, he was his plug. He supplied the pink ice. What you mean? You talking about the white boy? What you talking about, real mayhem? That was his plug. He had the pink good. What you talking about? No, that ain't. I ain't heard no. That so was others. So don't come over here lying. when he got arrested when they was doing a raid and busted one of them properties with Diddy. So go on with that foolishness, girl. Listen, his charges was dropped. You didn't hear it. You're not listening. Cause the state said the feds did not offer him immunity. He had his charges was dropped. It had nothing to do with him, and he chose. He ain't getting no money from it. He ain't getting no immunity. So why you saying immunity? You're lying. You're a liar. You're a liar, the real mayhem. Change your name. The real liar. Stop that. You come over here lying, girl. Stop. You're a liar. You just like Diddy. Is this you? Is this you? I lied to the courts. Now, don't come over here lying to AunTeaFee, because I'm going to call that ass out. Call that ass out. No, you full of shit this Friday evening. So go put your ass in the corner. You better be glad I ain't showing my face, because I've talked to you real, real bad. In your face. Okay, now as I was saying, she came over here lying. Who gets caught with drugs? It was a state charge. This is feds. Do your research, liar. Laisha. Stop lying. The charges he had was state. This is feds. I can tell you a Diddy lover, cause you slow to the bus. You slow to the bus. You don't know where you at. I'm quick on my feet. Tea sippers, y'all better tell me to slow my rogues. I'm finna eat that ass up. Eat that ass up. She trying to take my joy. She trying to take my joy. She don't know. I will prove that ass wrong. In your face. In your face. I'm true to it just like that. He didn't say he was a victim. Where you getting your story from? He didn't say he a victim, but he gonna tell on Diddy's ass. How about that? He didn't say he was a victim. Girl, gone with your lying ass. You slow to the party. You slow to the bus. You slow to the party. You just talking. Girl, bye. Go on, remove yourself because you trolling, and I don't do all that trolling, because see, I'm finna hurt your feelings. Diddy the only victim. Diddy the victim. He the victim. He your hero. He your hero. Hi, Scarlett. I got a slow bus rider. Woo, Lord, I'm trying not to eat that ass up. I'm trying hard, y'all, not to eat that ass up. Okay, so look at here, real mayhem. Don't say nothing else, because I'm gonna slide that ass on out of here, because I don't want to seem like I'm just being mean. Okay, because I'm gonna eat that ass up. You come in here with all that lying. Yeah, I don't want to though. So since you insist, don't say nothing else, because I'm gonna remove you if you do. Now take the bait. Take the bait. Take the bait like they dumbasses took the bait. Bye. Y'all say bye to the real mayhem. Yeah, she was nice enough to remove herself, so I won't have to. I know you are. Because I eat well, baby. I eat well. Hi, Sharon. Oh, you new here? Oh, wow, y'all. I gotta act right. We got another guest. How you doing, Sharon? Ooh, I got a bunch of good news today. They done got caught lying. They done got a jury dismissed. I'm waiting on Hi, Helen. How y'all Ye thought he was going to. They had a whole skit. They done wrote a skit. Christian Combs came and picked him up at the door. He got red door attention and shit. He got out his Maybach. He said, Ye is here to save the day. Them courts said, no. Did we tell you yesterday? You don't move shit around here? Yeah. We finna yo your ass on out that door. You didn't get enough attention. You thought you was finna sashay your ass in here and be a distraction to the court. Secret Service said no yesterday and today. You came in late. You thought that they was gonna move people out their seats. You thought they was gonna make room for Ye. Because they called you an icon. So you said I can come when I want to. And they gonna move some things around for me. They done figured out that our plug, our mold that we got up in there. We done reached out to them behind the scenes. We got a mold up in the court. And y'all got a feeling that Diddy plug was being revealed. You had a denial over here and a removal over here. And then you found out, did you find out that you have a surprise witness that's coming in next week, Monday, of course, we hope, that's going to testify against you. You allowed him to get arrested when they raided, and you left him in the water to swim with sharks by himself. And he said, oh, okay, that's what we doing. That's what we doing. He got his own charges dropped. He got his own charges dropped. And he coming in with the feds to testify against you. You had other. Hey, Willie Spencer. Yes, indeed. Yes. What's the word for Kimberly? Not revenge, not victory. What is it? Ooh, what word do we need to say for Kim Porter? Yeah, you slid. Ooh, baby, they better not. He better not come in and say that you asked for a drug that you can rub on somebody that give them pneumonia. Ooh, he better not. He better not come in exposing all the type of drugs you got from him, baby. Ooh, if he do that, he better not come in and tell all the type of drugs that he got, drugs, he got from you that will expose that they can cause this effect and that effect, baby. Vengeance. Not vengeance. What word can I use for Kim Porter? Yes, she getting your ass from the grave. Not karma. You know how it's not karma. I can't think of it. It'll come to me. But karma is spinning the block, baby. It is popping willies. It's burning. It's leaving all type of black tracks on the ground. Huh? Didn't the guy today on the witness stand, another assistance, hey, Jerry, Yeah, but you know how people get it in their absence? It's like they spirit to get that. Oh, man, I cannot think of the word. From the grave. Yes, indeed. Oh, he out of here. I've been trying to tell my tea sippers for going on 5 weeks. Did I not? Karma popping willies. It's doing jump rope, skip rope, somersaults, backstrokes. Yes, the guy said you had him doing all type of nasty shit for you to get ready for these freak-offs. He was slipping and sliding, falling, knee injury, butt hurt, falling on his side because the flow and shit was so damn slippery. Baby, an electro slide, all in one. Big pressure, big pressure. Big pressure, big pressure. Did we have a bet? Did we have a bet? Hey, Brody, hey, everybody coming in. We gonna take a sip today. Can we have an imaginary toast? Can we take an imaginary shot? Cause all, and I do mean all, they tricks and skits, plots and schemes got exposed today. Oh, and they got a surprise for Tness on Monday. They said bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, Juror number 6. Didn't I tell you they was getting rid of impression? Didn't I tell you that they had their eyes on them? Huh? You said, Fee, they ain't getting rid of no Juror. They are not going to remove number 6. He got his ass out, and say the judge got an attitude. You should have, we should have. Judge ain't got no signs of blackness in him. They say India, they say anything brown is, I don't know. But he pulled a bro man card. He said, who the fuck y'all think I am? You came in here trying to act like we was trying to remove this man because of his race. You tried to play the race card up here in my court. Don't you know all them stands? All them stands is from the motherland. All them stands is from the motherland. And you tried to bring your Caucasian ass up in here and try to act like my court is being prejudiced. Cause this motherfucker right here done lied and ran his mouth. And we busting him in his head. Yeah, I won't be surprised if you and none of your sons, them, didn't try to make contact with him after we told y'all where they were and where they from, huh? And then all of a sudden, he up in my court, laughing, sniggering, ain't paying attention, rolling his eyes like he one of your O's. And didn't I tell you not to be nodding your head? Didn't I tell you you on strike 2? MF, since y'all want to play about me being prejudiced in my court, you on strike 2, strike 3, you will be watching from your jail cell that on that little TV that little old girl bought you so you can watch your freak-offs on, okay? You on strike 3. Yes, it's probably more than one that's compromised. Well, guess what? They know as of today that all eyes are on them. And if they pull a funny number, they gonna get their ass up out of there. Yeah, black man gone, black man down, black man rejected, black man on his way to prison. Okay? Yeah, They had slip and slide. You had folk up in there falling. Do you pay workman's comp? You got folk falling on slip and slide. They slipping and sliding on your electric glide. What is that? That's so you had 900 bottles of that strong hand stuff. What is wrong with you? I mean, you must really can't keep that thing up. What? 900. You had more strong hand juice than you had baby oil. Oh, you need that stroke gel. You like baby oil, but you need that stroke gel. Oh. You got some erectile dysfunctions. You need to read shit. That's the book you need to be reading. You need to be reading that freezer meat. Freezer. Oh, it ain't freezer meat. It's the freezer Twinkie. Oh, it ain't a Twinkie. Oh, freezer, a Tootsie Roll. Y'all, let me stop. I don't even know where to start. So much done happened bad for him.
Saturday Saints,
Hate to run. Today just wasn't his day. He lost in every way. Is that bars? Are those bars? I've been dropping bars, ain't I? Oh, is that a sound? Tootsie, driving crazy, driving crazy. It ain't Tootsie, is it? What is it? What's the sound? What's the sound? It ain't Tootsie. It ain't Tootsie driving crazy, is it? What's the sound? He evened out. So he deserved it. He deserved this treatment. Is that what you're saying? He deserved it, custom one. Juicy driving crazy. Juicy. Now, it ain't Juicy AunTeaFee. It's Juicy driving crazy. Let me start with him. Let's start with winners or losers. Let's start with winners or losers. Y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button, because I am in a good mood. Can we have hi, Donetta? Can we have an imaginary shot, y'all? I need a shot.
I've slipped and fell twice.
I slipped and fell twice. I slipped. Diddy is going to be diddled, baby. Y'all better be glad I ain't in my other room where I can show y'all that Tootsie. My mascara one that look big. Hell, it's bigger than the Tootsie Roll. I play too much. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Ooh, Lord, I done giggled up or something, baby. Kanye said they was not giving Kanye no private room, and he said, "Fuck that, Diddy." They wouldn't clear the seat for him in the courtroom, and Kanye said, "Forget it. I need special treatment, and they are not giving it to me, so I'm gonna bounce on y'all ass." He came in and he left. I didn't get a chance to see him. I can't believe it. They tried it, y'all. They tried it. So for folk who was saying, for all the folk who was saying that Jane was a waste. No, they do not think that. Trust me when I tell you, they know. Although they grilled and drilled her, talked about her, wore her ass out. Did I take? Here it is. She did more harm than good. And they thought that they had a way to come back. And that was an wrong answer. Who done? Oh, that's me. Y'all, I'm tripping.
Everybody, Charles here.
Hey, Charles. Hey. Charles said it was a slippery slope. Oh, boy, need workman's comp. Cause he done slipped and slide. Slipped and slide. Y'all ready? Let's go. Get my lights up.
Well, I've slipped and fell twice. He didn't say what he slipped and fell in, but if you have that much lube and that much baby oil, you can kind of figure it out.
They probably gonna get him on something, but it ain't.
Hey everybody,
over.
Charles here. Day 23 in Diddy's federal trial, and we learned.
Let me tell you something.
Post FREAK0FF slip and fall.
Pressure stop. The jury now saying, "Oh shit, they removing folk. Oh wow, what happened to Mister? Oh shit, they ain't playing. Oh Lord, y'all, they watching us. They show is what they good
at. To someone, we will explain what they were slipping and falling in just a little bit later. Stick around for that. But Diddy was not the person everyone was talking about today, at least for a while. It was a different celebrity. His buddy, Ye. Kanye West showed up at the federal courthouse in New York today, and what an appearance it was. Made a big entrance. He did not come in at the beginning of the day, and in fact, it was a little unclear whether he'd even be able to get into court because testimony had already begun. But he rolled up, got out of his car, walked in, all head to toe in white denim, and then was met at the door by Diddy's son, King Combs. But when he went inside, I think things did not go the way that Ye expected them to go.
Another failure?
He's going there because he wants to show support for Diddy, and really he would be the first of his celeb friends to show.
He don't got no friends no more.
Public support, at least, for Diddy, and the only celeb who would have shown up at court to support him. But he did not get to go into the courtroom. He walked into the courthouse and then was told that he couldn't go into the courtroom and he'd have to go into the overflow room. Now, the overflow room is where they have a lot of other reporters, media gathered watching, essentially just watching the trial on a big TV. And we're told from our reporter, Jacob was in that overflow room. That's where he watches every day. And there was a big commotion in there. They actually, the deputies came in, they cleared off a bench at the back of that room, and it seemed like that's where they were expecting Kanye to watch. But then there were a lot of people coming in and out, and even some of Diddy's attorneys stuck their head in, kind of looking for Ye. Didn't see him in there. Well, it turns out what the deputies decided was that it was just going to be too much of a commotion, too much of a distraction if you were sitting in that room with all the other media. I mean, let's be honest. If you're a reporter and you're in that room, you're no longer looking at the trial. You're watching Ye to see how he's reacting to things that are being said in the trial. So they decided to not bring him in there. He got his own private overflow room. And he was only there, so he sat down in there with King Combs, but he was only there for about 10 minutes. If you know anything about Ye, once he realized that there wasn't going to be this big show of him walking in court,
he couldn't sashay in there.
You know, him.
He couldn't be Scarlett O'Hara
or whatever it is. That once that was not happening, he decided he was out of there. He literally was.
He wasn't the center of attention
for about 10 minutes, and then walked out and was gone. Didn't have anything to say when he left, and that was it. So
they didn't treat him like he was a king.
Just out of the way. What actually happened in the trial today? Only 2 witnesses on the stand, and one of them, the first was a special agent.
They didn't treat him like a king.
Ran through a lot of things that we already knew about the raids. He was going over basically an inventory of things that they found at the LA home during the raid. Talked about weapons, talked about drugs, ketamine, ecstasy, and the weapon, aside from the guns, he also talked about the ammo that was found, and that it was armor-piercing bullets that they found there, which we had known that from the indictment. It always seemed weird to me that Diddy would need that kind of ammunition, but he didn't really get into what it could be used for, just talked about this is what they found. Then there was something that I guess you could say is a bit of maybe freak-off shaming, you could call it. We've all heard about the baby oil, heard about personal lubricant that was found.
Freak-off shaming, y'all.
But he went through the numbers, and I guess you feel like maybe...
What type of freak are you?
We heard about this. We need to let the jury know what was found there, because if we don't bring it up, they're going to be going, wait a second, remember all that stuff we heard about baby oil? How come that didn't come up in the trial? So the special agent said they found 200 bottles of baby oil. 200. This is just in the LA home. And lube, 900 bottles. I can't even imagine, how did he order 900 bottles of lube? What?
Baby, that mean that thing is dry and
covered that,
not functioning.
And they moved on. The next person on the stand was Jonathan Perez, and Jonathan was a former assistant for Diddy. And
boy, them assistants sure be telling, don't they?
Time reported directly to Christina Karam, who is the chief of staff, former chief of staff for Diddy.
Former.
Now, what Jonathan was talking about was what
former chief of staff.
Now he said that this was only about 1% of his responsibilities. That seems, if this is only 1%, I'm not sure what else they had this guy doing. But he talked about King nights. Now we've heard Cassie call them freak-offs. We've heard Jane call them hotel nights. The employees, at least, Jonathan testified, knew them as King nights. That's the way it was described to him by Christina, that every now and then Diddy would have these King nights where he would stay at a hotel with a woman. Jonathan said that it was usually Jane when he was setting these things up. And he talked about what the setup was about, that they would get enough supplies in there for about 12 to 24 hours of fun for Diddy and whoever else was in there. And he wanted 12 to 24 hours where he wouldn't have to call Jonathan or any other assistants, that he could just be there without bothering anybody. Things they had to set up: food, liquor, music, red lights, condoms, lube, and sometimes honey. And this was interesting. I think a lot of things you hear about honey and what it's good for in your health.
That's kind of glistening too.
Said that Diddy would take would have honey as part of the setup because it enhances the libido. So
he got a he had a juice.
Beyond that, Jonathan talked about drugs that he would have to set up. He said sometimes he would get Xanax, cocaine, and Molly. He said only about a handful of times from, and here's a couple of colorful characters to add to the mosaic of this trial. He said the dealers that he would get it from were people named Guido and Baby Girl. Pretty sure those were not their given names, just their professional names. But he talked about all of that set up. And he talked about then let's talk about the aftermath, because if Jonathan had to go in and set up for all of this, and then 12 to 24 hours, maybe even longer, we've heard testimony that sometimes these went as long as 3 days.
24 hours.
He would also have to go in and clean up the hotel rooms. And he talked about a text exchange that he had with Christina, who was asking how the cleanup was going, and he texted back to her, well, I've slipped and fell twice. He didn't say what he slept and fell in.
What he slipped in?
That much lube and that much baby oil, you can kind of figure it out. When you hear all these things that Jonathan had to do, you just go like, God, I hope this guy was getting some hazard pay. He did testify as to what his salary was, so you can decide if this would be enough for you. He said he started out at $80,000 a year. That's nothing to sneeze at. And actually went up to $100,000 But man, cleaning up after those freak-offs. Anyway, 80 to 100,000. That's what he said his salary was. And then on cross-examination, this was interesting because they made Jonathan talk about the fact that one, he had many other responsibilities. The King nights were just a small part of that. And
did he say he worked 24 hours?
How he felt about Diddy, and he said, actually, he was asked this by the prosecutors, which is also interesting. That the prosecutors asked him how he felt about Diddy today, and he said, "I feel great about him, the same way I felt when I was leaving my employment," which is an odd thing after all those things he just said he had to do, which you would think would be very distasteful. He said he still felt great about Diddy. He said that on cross-examination, he had never seen him be violent with anyone, and that's which I thought was an odd thing to ask him because, I mean, we all, as part of this testimony, we've seen the Cassie video, the jurors have seen it, they know about it, so why does it matter that Jonathan never saw him hit a woman or anybody else? But they had him talk about that, and then he talked about some text messages between himself and Jane where they were talking about the things he needed to pack up, that Jane would ask him to pack up for these King nights. And I think that was interesting because what they wanted to point out was that Jane was involved in setting up these things. And again, this is all about trying to make it clear that she was into this lifestyle and Diddy was not forcing her into that. That was what the defense got clear to the jury on cross-examination. So, winners and losers. Today, I got to say it's prosecutors because they got back to, after several days of Jane being cross-examined and really making it murky for the jurors as to whether or not she was forced into this lifestyle or not. Today, you just had people talking about the bad things, right? You had the special agent talking about all these things they found, the ammunition, the drugs, probably not that shocking to the jury anymore, but certainly the ammunition and certain firearms that had serial numbers scratched off, all of that just looks really shady, so that's bad. And then you have Jonathan detailing everything he had to go through as an employee of Diddy's. All that stuff isn't good. It's just not good.
And these are not females that he had relations with.
He was making employees and people in his organization do. And that's going to inch closer to racketeering. I don't think the prosecutors have fully shown their cards on that yet. But
you ain't going to never.
Today, I would say prosecutors were the winners. Next week, we are expecting the testimony of Brendan Paul, a guy whose face you probably remember when the raids went down. He got arrested after the raid in Florida when they went on Diddy's private jet. He was the so-called drug mule and who was arrested and charged, but those charges have been dropped. Perhaps because it was a first offense, it was a state crime.
It was not federal.
And they made a point when they dropped those charges of saying the federal prosecutor said, "We did not strike a deal with this guy. The charges were not dropped because we are letting him off of testifying." He is expected on the stand next week, and I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about what he had to do under Diddy's employ. So, looking forward to that next week, and maybe the prosecution will be wrapping up.
Woo! No, you don't love me. Y'all ready to go to the next one? Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Y'all see Fitty head moving up and down. Y'all know he loving this. Oh, he loving it. Okay, let's go to... old girl was talking noise today. Let's see what she was talking about. Hold on. Y'all know I love it when I come over here. I can clown over here. No, you don't let me. No, you don't let me. Yeah, let's see, because she was going off on y'all today. She really talking to 50. Not 50. Let's see who we can. Let's see if we can tell who she talking to today. Who is she? Tia Kemp, Rose's ex-wife.
So Kanye gonna be the only one that show up at the courthouse in support of his buddy. Since nobody don't want to say it, I say it. All right, Kylan, get your big fat ass down there to the
Kylan, she calling them out.
Ross, get your big wide ass down there to the fucking courthouse.
Rose.
French Montana, get your yellow ass down there to the fucking courthouse too. Kevin Hart, get your short ass, funny ass down there to the motherfucking courthouse.
Funny ass.
Meek Mills, get your Philly ass down there to the fucking courthouse too.
With your back, your pool.
Young Miami, I love you. But get your ass down there to the motherfucking courthouse too, city girl. Who else? Saucy Santana. That's your dog too. Go down there to the motherfucking courthouse. Now he needs support, y'all. Who else? Joey Chavez. That's her name. Future baby mama and Bow Wow baby mama. Take your ass down there too, girl. Too.
What?
Who else?
She
Gina, where the fuck you at and hiding? Get your dick sucking ass down there. So Kanye gonna be the only
is she calling their asses out or what?
Since nobody don't want to say it, I say it. All right, Kylan, get your big fat ass down there to the courthouse.
Cause you was wiping your mouth the other day.
Get your big fat ass down there to the fucking courthouse. French Montana, get your yellow ass down there to the fucking courthouse too. Kevin Hart, get your short ass, funny ass down there to the motherfucking courthouse too. Meek Mills, get your Philly ass,
out the
pool courthouse too. And all them bitches he was fucking, Young Miami, I love you. But get your ass down there to the motherfucking courthouse too, city girl. Who else? Saucy Santana. That's your dog too. Go down there to the motherfucking courthouse. Now he needs support, y'all. Who else? Joey Chavez. That's her name. Future baby mama and Bow Wow baby mama. Take your ass down there too, girl. Jennifer Lopez. Get your ass down there too.
Ooh, she bold.
Who else? Ooh, you stirred up a lot of shit. Who the fuck else? Who the fuck else? I'm trying to think. Who else? Most of you motherfucking rappers that was on his dick. Y'all niggas was on his dick.
What?
Get y'all motherfucking ass down there to the motherfucking courthouse too. Like I said, get y'all ass down there to the motherfucking courthouse. Ooh, you stirred up a lot. Who the fuck else? Who the fuck else?
I was gonna play a game of guess who she talking to. I guess we didn't have to guess, huh? She said you don't have to guess, AunTeaFee. What we guessing for? I'll tell you myself who I'm talking to. Where we at next? Where we going, AunTeaFee? You sure is tickled, ain't you? Yeah, I'm tickled. Yeah, I'm tickled. I am tickled. They thought they had it in a baby boom. What is this? Have I watched it? Oh yeah, no, this was nothing. But I'm sure. Hold on. Come on. I got these how I want them today. I got it how.
11:20.
Baby.
I want to buy.
Baby.
I can pay you cash for your house, no matter what condition it's in.
Oh my goodness. Tell it like it is.
At the party, she ran into Anton, an entertainer she and Combs had previously Vegas. Jane testified that during a break in
so you know she gonna go backwards.
To Vegas on a private jet with a well-known rapper and his wife. At the party, she ran into Anton, an entertainer she and Combs had previously hired for their hotel nights.
They be sharing workers.
He later found messages referencing that trip, and he exploded in anger, accusing her of going to another man's freak off. We would hear about all of these breaks that the couple would take, and while she was gone, we were all cheering for her like, but no, Jane kept running back, and every time she went back, she had to run right back to a freak off. Jane spoke about how Combs used her financial dependence against her, threatening to stop paying her rent whenever she resisted participating in the hotel nights. Jane admitted that she stayed in the relationship longer than she wanted because she felt trapped financially, emotionally, and psychologically. She closed her testimony by saying she did not come forward for money. She was subpoenaed. She was asked, would you give all the money back to not have STX with those men? And she answered, yes. With Jane's testimony now complete, the prosecution plans to call more witnesses before resting their case sometime next week. The next two witnesses expected to take the stand is a federal agent as well as Jonathan Perez, who worked as an assistant to Combs when he was dating Jane between 2021 to 2024. We are going to get into day number 23, but before we do, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding this case and so much more. Now let's get back into it. So first things first, we spoke a couple of days ago about Sean Combs' legal team attempting to argue that a series of June 23rd, 2024 messages he sent to his staff members regarding the discovery of a phone referred to as Device 1 were protected under attorney-client privilege. However, the government and later the court has rejected their claims, stating that Combs merely asked the staffer for his lawyer's phone number and shared what he believed was a significant discovery. The messages did not reflect a collaborative effort to seek legal advice, nor did the staffer act in a role necessary to interpret or facilitate attorney communication. Legal precedent requires that privileged communication must be made for the purpose of obtaining legal counsel, which the court ruled was not the case. As a result, the messages about Device 1 are not shielded and can be used in court. The second thing I want to cover is Sean Combs' legal team submitted a request to the judge to issue a NAPU instruction to the jury, acknowledging that the government's witness, Brianna Bongolan, gave false testimony. Specifically,
they still trying to make that an issue.
Live when she claimed Combs caused her leg, back, and neck injuries all on the same day, September 26, 2016. They want the following read from the court to the jury sometime today. The government elicited materially false testimony from Brianna Bongolan about the alleged balcony incident. Specifically, when she testified that she received
they don't already,
her leg, back, and neck.
What they don't know is that the feds was watching them.
On the same day, she took photographs of her leg injuries, September 26, 2016.
They knew that
this is not
when they
true.
wasn't sequestered.
Okay, before court,
everybody got eyes on them.
Defense attorneys and prosecutors are arguing about the testimony of the next expected witness, a special agent involved in the search of Sean P. Diddy Combs' Los Angeles home in March 2024. Now, the agent is expected to testify about the guns recovered from the home security room. Defense attorney Mark Ignifilo argued that one of the agents who initially recovered the guns should testify about exactly where they were found, rather than an agent who dealt with the guns later during the search and process. Prosecutor Maureen Comey said it may not be possible to establish which agent could testify about that because the team of agents who cleared the sprawling property are not tasked
they found them.
Evidence,
they busted them.
So they don't keep track of who cleared what before the search team took over. Ignifilo said he wanted the jury to hear where
they didn't let Kanye in that courtroom
by a professional security service behind a locked door. Judge Subramanian said the agent can testify about the guns found in the security room that house a gun safe, and the defense can cross-examine him. So let's talk about what's going on with juror number 6. So Judge Arun Subramanian has turned to prosecutors' previous request to dismiss one of the jurors, juror number 6, a request made after they said they found there appeared to be lack of candor with the court from the juror. Now, Subramanian said there was a question of the juror's residence and confirmed they established that he's met the qualifications to be in the jury pool and lived in the jurisdiction at least at the time of the jury selection. The juror moved out of the Bronx in the past 2 weeks, Subramanian said. Subramanian also said that this came up
just
only because of a friendly banter the juror had with the jury staff members who informed the court.
Ain't no loyalty among freaks.
Said it no longer seems to be an issue. The jury has been part of a diligent panel that's been engaged and cooperative throughout the trial.
Them freaks ain't loyal.
On a previous accusation from one of the
ain't that what Chris Brown said? Ain't that what Chris Brown said?
You've probably heard about Boxable's flagship product, the Casita. Come on in.
Them freaks ain't loyal.
Because this is so tall.
And that this was the
y'all get the lights up.
Black juror. Subramanian said there's been no evidence and no showing of any kind of biased conduct from the prosecution.
Them freaks ain't loyal.
Mitzi Steiner said the juror has said multiple things that cannot all be true, and the most prudent thing to do would be to get to the bottom of the issue through additional inquiry. Defense attorney Alexandra Shapiro said further inquiry would be harassing the juror, who she said would feel singled out and picked on if he's subject to individual questioning again. Shapiro says the defense waives the issue on appeal. When Shapiro suggested the judge ask Combs if he wanted to waive, Combs waved his arms and said, "Waiving, Your Honor." The judge at first said he'd like to hear more from the juror because he thinks there will be a perfectly innocent explanation, but he said he'd think about it more further. Subramanian says if he opts to question the juror, he'll do it at the end of the day after the panel has been dismissed.
Let's repeat that. I was playing.
Subramanian said there's been no evidence and no showing of any kind of a diligent panel that's been engaged and cooperative throughout the trial. The judge also pushed back on a previous accusation from one of the defense attorneys this week that said that this was a thinly veiled effort to dismiss a black juror. Subramanian said there's been no evidence and no showing of any kind of biased conduct from the prosecution. Assistant U.S. Attorney Mitzi Steiner said the juror has said multiple things that cannot all be true, and the most prudent thing to do would be to get to the bottom of the issue through additional inquiry. Defense attorney Alexandra Shapiro said further inquiry would be harassing the juror, who she said would feel singled out and picked on if he's subject to individual questioning again. Shapiro says the defense waives the issue on appeal. When Shapiro suggested the judge ask Combs if he wanted to waive, Combs waved his arms and said, "Waiving, Your Honor." The judge at first said he'd like to hear more from the juror because he thinks there will be a perfectly innocent explanation, but he said he'd think about it more further. Subramanian says if he opts to question the juror, he'll do it at the end of the day after the panel has been dismissed. Combs' mother is so far the only
so the jury don't know that he got her.
Hello to her, and he blew her a kiss. So finally at 9:46 a.m., the jury finally walks in. The judge says, "All rise. Jurors, you can see we're only 50 minutes late today, so we are doing better." He smiles. Prosecutor Comey says we introduced the following exhibits. These are all under seal. E331, BRC, FRHR, etc., all under Your Honor's pseudonym order. Before one witness comes in, we introduce these text messages involving Christina Coram. So according to the reading, Combs texts his then Chief of Staff, Christina Coram, in November 2023, saying in part, "Make sure Robin is not doing anything dumb like not having her rent paid on time. Can you make sure it's paid for this month, please?" According to previous testimony, Robin was Combs' accountant, and Jane, who dated Combs from 2021 to 2024, testified in this case saying that Robin handled the rent for her home. Now, the testimony indicated Combs paid for Jane's rent for a Los Angeles home from 2023 to present day. Coram responded according to the text messages read today. Robin said her rent was paid. Another message chain read today was between Combs' then girlfriend Cassie Ventura and D-Rock, one of Combs' security, in 2017. "My bathroom door is broken. He's blaming me for going to someone else's house when I pulled over to see if I was being followed, and I was." Ventura texted him, "He has my keys, so I'm leaving. I do not feel safe. I'm not effing with anyone else." She later messaged him that 3 of the doors were broken. "You know I can't take your keys from him," D-Rock said in a later message. "He is here. You are there. I think that's the best thing for now." The judge says thank you. The government may now call its next witness. The government calls Special Agent Andre Lamone. "Where do you work?" says the government. "HSI in Los Angeles in the Human Trafficking Unit." "Do you execute search warrants?" "Yes, 50 or 60 so far." "Did you search 200 South Mapleton Drive, LA?" "Yes." "HSI New York asked HSI LA to be involved. We executed the search warrant. Here's an exhibit. Please publish it." South Mapleton Drive. "Okay, and Mr. Lamone, what are these other buildings?" "Sauna, recording studio." "What rooms were searched?" "All." "It's a large property. I went through the objects that we seized, then entered them into our case management system. We moved to enter into evidence these exhibits." "Objection," says Ignifilo. Sidebar. "Okay, and so now we're back from sidebar. The exhibits are submitted," says the judge. "What are these?" says prosecution. "The floor plans of 200 South Mapleton." "How do you know they are accurate?" "I was there." "How many manila envelopes were there in the nightstand?" 6. "What was written on them?" "K." "Publish the stipulation. Testing determined in the K envelope with a shamrock on it was ketamine. Was there a safe in the closet?" Yes, it's gray. There it is in the photo. What was in the safe? A passport for Sean Combs and a plastic bag with substances in it. Stipulation at paragraph 15 to 16. Testing found from the brown pebbles was MDMA. What's in the bag? Johnson & Johnson baby oil, Astroglide, and some lime.
Here's how a doctor treats toenail
Astroglide.
fungus without a prescription. If your toenail fungus came back after using tea tree
Peter
mixed
jail.
Lingerie. Where else was Astroglide and baby
Peter
oil
jail.
found? In the bathroom, in the garage. Show the photos. It's a bookcase full of baby oil and drawer full of Astroglide. Next photo, boxes marked Astroglide, 24 boxes. Where were these boxes of Astroglide? In the garage. Overall, how many bottles of baby oil did you find? 200. How many bottles of Astroglide in 200 South Mapleton? 900. Let's turn to the firearms found in the residence. What are these? A Ruger, a Glock pistol, and an AR-15 platform. Show the photo. What is this? A Smith & Wesson rifle on the chair, 330 round magazines. There, that's the 5.11 bag. What's that? Just a bag. And this, rifles and a Mossberg shotgun. And this, a drum magazine, large capacity. This one was a 60 rounds. It had 59 rounds of green tip ammunition in it. And let me ask you this, what does green tip ammunition do? It is designed to pierce body armor. Could you go look at the boxes of firearms in the cart next to you? Lamone does. He goes off the mic. Lamone says the serial numbers where they existed matched up. Did any of the firearms not have serial numbers? One did not. This one, he holds up a long gun. How are serial numbers eliminated? Sand it off with a machine? It's smooth, not like it was ever with a screwdriver. No further questions. Judge says, Mr. Ignifilo? Ignifilo says, you are aware that Mr. Combs has security, right? Yes, and every gun and piece of ammo was recovered from the security office, right? Yes, there were no guns in kids' bedrooms, right? None. Was the security office door locked? Not when I got there, but before, isn't it important? Did it have a lock? It had a knob. Lock? I don't know. You have no reason to think the safe was open before you got there? No. We brought a locksmith, but I didn't see him touch that safe. We're in Manhattan. We don't know a lot about guns.
He's
Sorry.
going to jail.
Withdrawn, says the judge. This was a gun safe? Designed for that, yes. Why not photo of opening it? SRT goes in first. So because of this protocol, we don't have any photographs? So you use a body cam? No. In your human trafficking work, have you ever dealt with Astroglide before? Only in this case. Okay, Ignifilo starts to chuckle. No comment, please, says the judge.
Peter Glide.
So the baby oil was in the garage? It was the Astroglide in the garage. You're from LA? Yes. Enjoy. No further questions. Prosecution says no redirect. Now it's time for a break. Now we're back from break. Jonathan Perez, who used to be Diddy's ex-assistant, has wished to invoke the fifth. Do you intend to assert that right as explained, says prosecution? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Judge says I will enter the order of immunity. Prosecution says, my colleagues tell me Mr. Combs has been nodding during the cross. Please instruct him. Brian Steele says it is my affirmation Mr. Combs has done nothing inappropriate. Judge says, all right, very good.
It's
we had an
strike two.
exchange about this a few days ago. There's going to be some amount of reaction to testimony that is given. It is impossible to police all of it. At 11:28, Kanye West has entered the building.
If I die tomorrow, I'd have
how
only
we
one
got a
regret.
commercial?
Not telling everyone
not the
losing
pimp
their vision,
stroll.
including
We
you.
gotta see this. Boom, boom, boom.
Kanye, why are you here?
Boom, boom, boom. Y'all, I had this first this morning.
It's not a real place.
I had it first. Come on, let's get the pimp stroll.
Possible to police all of it. At 11:28,
Boom, boom,
Kanye West has entered the building.
Kanye in house.
Kanye, why are you here?
Tell him she was a freak.
Baby,
She-
New York is not a real place.
She's a freak house.
Tell him she was
She's
a
mighty,
freak.
mighty. Letting it all hang out. She's a freak house.
Ye in with all white pants and jacket. Security was along with him. One forgot the token they give you to pick up your phone when you leave. He went back and got it. So at 11:35, Combs is seated. He's surrounded and speaking to Agnifilo, Westmoreland, and Donaldson, who was in the lobby waiting for Kanye West to come in. The trial now resumes. Judge says, all rise. The jury enters. Government may call its next witness. The government calls Jonathan Perez. Witness takes the stand in a brown tie and brown shirt. Where are you from? Fort Lauderdale, Florida. What was your work? Personal assistant to Mr. C. Sean Combs. From when? December 2021 to September 2024.
C. Sean
Combs. The
Combs.
job. KK reached out to me, Christina Coram. I had interviewed with her for the same job. KK told me to go to Miami for a trial.
Sean Combs.
What do you mean? To try the job for a week. I passed the test. I got hired. What was your job? Making sure he had materials for meeting, buying gifts. Where did you work? LA and Miami. Did KK and Mr. Combs appear to be personal friends too? It would depend on the day, yes. And you and Mr. Combs? First 6 months, little interaction. It was KK who'd give me instructions. Then for Mr. Combs? Yes. And just like that, Kanye West has left the courthouse. He arrived at the courthouse about 40 minutes ago and asked if he was there to support Sean P. Diddy Combs, in which he nodded yes. So back in the courtroom, we have Jonathan Perez.
He didn't get a chance
to be a personal assistant to Sean Combs.
Disrupt. Don't forget Kanye got a Trump.
He's
yeah, and so does
started at $85,000 a year, and he was later brought up to $100,000 a year.
Fitty is exercising his. He pulling out his Trump card.
Perez's direct supervisor. He said
he got the high joker.
Seemed to have a good working relationship, and on some days it seemed like they had a good personal relationship as well. Perez.
Boom, boom, boom. 50 Cent said he got the high joker. Boom, boom, boom. He said, get that shit out of here. Boom, boom, boom. He said he got the high joker. He finna set their asses. That's what 50 said. Let me see. 50 is pulling out his Trump card as well. And he said he got the high joker to set everybody, disrupt the whole game. Now, cause Kanye, cause old boy done said some ugly stuff about Trump. Very ugly and distasteful things about Trump. Let me see if I got it. And then on top of that, Kimora Lee got something negative to say. Oh, wait a minute. I thought I had 50. I thought I had 50. I thought I had 50. I thought I had him. Yeah, he said he got his own Trump card. So let the best Trump card win. How about that? Is this 50? Nah. And then on top of that, let's hear what Kimora was saying right quick. Kimora.
As a parent, you worry. You want them to be okay. You want them to be safe.
So Kimora Lee Simmons is stepping up and finally making good on her promise to Kim Porter. She's taking in Diddy's twins, Jesse and Delilah, under her care, and Diddy has no choice but to watch. In fact, if Kimora plays her cards right, she might just get the girls to file a lawsuit as well. You see, the girls aren't daddy's little princesses anymore. They're ready to hold him and their brothers accountable for the trauma they caused them. Dark family secrets, mistreatment, and betrayal, it all ends now. Just what did Kimora Lee Simons say? Did Diddy really mistreat his own daughters? Let's find out. Honestly, no one expected Jesse and Delilah to go against their father, but here they are, moving away from Diddy and keeping a mile's distance from the trial. To be fair, fans should have seen this one coming. The twins grew up with the man who allegedly took out their mother. Kim Porter tragically passed away back in 2018, and according to reports, it was because of pneumonia. But with all the holes in the investigation of her passing, no one believes that. most of the internet thinks Diddy took out Kim for allegedly working on a tell-all memoir.
They were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died.
Well, don't you write one?
That's exactly what happened. She was working on a tell-all book. Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side, was published on Amazon on September.
His life too much, and so I stepped in there to help adopt. As a parent, you worry. You want them to be okay. You want them to be safe.
So Kimora Lee Simmons is stepping up and finally making good on her promise to Kim Porter. She's taking in Diddy's twins, Jesse and Delilah, under her care, and Diddy has no choice but...
No, but this baby girl right here, this is the one that worried me, y'all. I ain't gonna even lie. All jokes aside.
My father, it's the most disgraceful thing in my life. My sisters and I left the courthouse just 5 minutes after the trial began. They already believe their mother, Kim Porter's death is inseparable from him. My father is so vicious. When I saw the video of him beating Cassie Ventura, I was so scared that I almost cried. He was so considerate in front of me, but he treated Cassie Ventura like an animal and abused her wantonly. And she is not even the only victim. My sisters and I held back our tears and walked out of my father. It's the most disgraceful thing in my life. My sisters and I left the courthouse just 5 minutes after the trial began. They already believe their mother, Kim Porter's death is inseparable from him. My father is so vicious. When I saw the video of him beating Cassie Ventura, the courtroom, only able to remain silent when facing reporters who asked sharp questions. My sisters and I can no longer believe he is innocent. Even if he quibbles, he is no longer the loving father in my heart. This appearance at the trial was just a last resort because I can't give up my current affluent life. But he has ruined my life. My acting and modeling career will definitely be ruined because of his reputation. Now I just want to take my mother's last name. I don't want to have anything to do with him anymore. Diddy is my father. It's the most in the courtroom, only able to remain silent when facing reporters.
That's her, and
who
she
ask
is
sharp
talking.
Questions. My sisters and I can no longer believe he is innocent. Even if he quibbles, he is no longer the loving father in my heart. This appearance at the trial was just a last resort because I can't give up my current affluent life.
She can't give up her life.
My acting and modeling career will definitely be ruined because of his reputation.
My daddy
now
is a
I just
freak.
want to take my mother's last name. I don't want to have anything to do with him anymore.
Oh, wow.
Diddy is my father.
Let's get back over here, y'all. That was our sidebar.
9 p.m. and another personal assistant.
Well, her mouth is moving.
Once he was finished, he said, Combs typically...
That ain't the only video. I have others.
Coram made him aware of the King nights, which Perez described as Combs going to a hotel to have party time with a female. Jane, who testified in this trial under a pseudonym and dated Combs from 21 to 24, would accompany Combs at hotels for King nights, while Perez worked for Combs. Perez said, when asked
effective health.
You always got an excuse.
More than innovation.
You act like you on his payroll.
At Human, our plant-based supplements are scientific.
Perez described
That's why you lost the bet.
Female friend companion. I'm
You
not
said
sure
wasn't no
exactly.
juror gonna be
Staff
removed.
get anywhere from 2 hours to a full day's notice to set up King nights, Perez said. Whichever assistant was working in the evening would typically set up King nights. Perez typically worked during the day, so he estimates that he only set up about 5 King nights for Combs. It was a lot of packing material, making sure that he was going to have everything he would need for 12 to 24 hours without having to bother anybody. Perez brought food, liquor, music, red lights, rubbers, lubricant, and sometimes honey. He said honey enhances the man's libido. Perez said he sometimes also went to S3X stores to purchase adult outfits and high heels. He would pay for the items on his company card or with cash he got from security. Now he's speaking about how a videographer found a video of Jane and another man engaging in sexual activity. Perez said the video was on an iPad, usually used by Combs' staff, and Combs could be seen in the background, Perez said. Perez said he took the iPad and told Combs and Christina Combs' chief of staff separately about the video that day. He testified that Combs seemed surprised when he told him about the video. Courtroom told Perez that the next time he should give the footage directly to her and she'd deal with Combs. About 6 months later, Courtroom questioned Perez about the video and how it was found. She told Perez she had got a call from someone outside the company talking about the video in some capacity. A recording of the conversation was recovered from Courtroom's phone, which was seized in 2024. Perez testified he didn't know he was being recorded at the time, and the jury is now hearing the recording. Audio is played and then stopped. Whose voice did you hear, Mr. Perez? KK. Audio of KK. Both times the only person at the house who knew about it was you. Audio of KK continues. Where did you find it? Perez said, Brandon, the shooter, who was the videographer. Prosecutor says, was that you? Yes, and he's the videographer. Brandon was like, something is on the iPad. I shouldn't see it. And then KK says, was there anyone else in the theater? Maybe Gio. We have camera footage of who was in the house, Christina said. Perez said, I went to PD about it, meaning Puff Daddy. Said, you can delete it. He said, okay, and deleted it. Then I told you. KK said, did you hear anyone else in the house talk about it? Did anyone else ever bring it up again? No, says Perez. Rob talked about it, but he said he didn't want to see it. Prosecution says, why did you not want to delete it? It wasn't my role, says Perez. Perez in audio says it should be an investigation. Mr. Combs thought he might be compromised in some way. His phone data. Prosecution says, let's pull up the next one for the jury. Perez says, I told Rob I found something private on the iPad. He said he didn't want to know. KK says, was there anyone else in the theater except for you all and Gio? No. Was Chef K in the theater? No. Why didn't you say Chef K was there? I just wanted to minimize things. Did anyone ask you again? Yes, Fahim did. Asked me what happened when I found the video of Jane. Are you aware of how Fahim knew? No, I don't. Now it's time for a break. They're back from lunch, but before the jury is brought in, Combs' attorney Xavier Donaldson says, Your Honor, wanted us to address juror number 6. Judge says we can do that another time. Comey says, after Mr. Perez, we have exhibits to introduce so we can get our summary charts together over the weekend. Judge says, all rise. The jurors enter. Prosecutor Smizer says, Mr. Perez, were you subpoenaed and do you have an immunity agreement? Yes. Let me show you this. What is it? Mr. Combs' Gucci pouch. What was in the Gucci pouch? DRUGS and money. Now some text. Between whom? Me and Rob. Rob says, will you locate his Gucci pouch in his bathroom? What did you say? I text, there was no residue and I didn't steal any Addy. Laugh out loud. Meaning what? Adderall. As part of your employment, did you have any role in obtaining DRUGS? A handful of times, yes. I'd purchase or grab them from somebody outside. Who were you getting the DRUGS for? Mr. Combs, which DRUGS? Cocaina, Xanax, Molly? How did you pay for the DRUGS? Cash. Where did you get the cash? Security or the Gucci pouch? Who in security? Fahim. What did your text here say? I text Fa, I need $700 for Guido for DRUGS. And this text, I text, I'm still waiting for the funds from TriStar, Mr. Combs' business manager. Who'd you contact with at TriStar? Robin Greenhill. Did you get a FaceTime from Mr. Combs from Jane's house? Yes. I dropped him at Jane's house with his supplies. Then he called me a couple of hours later. How did Mr. Combs appear in the FaceTime? Angry and annoyed. Could you see Jane's face? No, she was turned away. What did Mr. Combs ask? For me to say if there had been any other female on a trip he had been on, I said no. Had there been? No. How did you react during the FaceTime? Pretty normal, I thought. What did you do? I told Fahim and KK that Mr. Combs was arguing with his girl, that I was going to go pick him up. What is this? Messages between me, Fahim, and Sean Combs. June 20th, 2024, I wrote, I need cash for the guests, ASAP. Do you know what the money was for? No. Okay, now we heard previous testimony from Jane that Jonathan Perez was the assistant who helped set up the date night with Sean Combs last year. That date devolved into an argument when Jane accused Combs of taking another woman with him on a trip to Wyoming. The couple then physically fought. Jane testified, after which Combs allegedly forced her to perform S3X acts on another man in a freak-off. Jonathan then confirmed that he was told to pick up his boss, Sean Combs, from a date night that went terribly wrong last year and bring a large sum of cash for Combs' girlfriend, known to the court as Jane. Need $3,500 cash ASAP for his guests. Perez wrote to a text shown to the jury. I'm going to take it to her. This account corroborates Jane's previous testimony that Combs physically assaulted her a fight she acknowledged she instigated, called an adult film star to her house for a freak-off. Jane said she protested and alleged that Combs made her let the man in, gave her an ecstasy pill.
This is another person, right?
S3X on the
Hold on, I'm sorry, I was watching something else. This is another one, cause he got another.
Or anyone during his.
Hold on.
Emergencies can strike at any time.
I'm sorry, I got preoccupied. This is another chicken.
Create a support system.
Didn't steal any Addy. Laugh out loud. Meaning what? Adderall? As part of your employment, did you have any role in obtaining DRUGS? A handful of times, yes. I'd purchase or grab them from somebody outside. Who were you getting the DRUGS for? Mr. Combs? Which DRUGS? Cocaine, Xanax, Molly? How did you pay for the DRUGS? Cash? Where did you get the cash? Security or the Gucci pouch? Who in security? Fahim, what did your text here say? I text Fa, I need $700 for Guido, for DRUGS. In this text, I text, I'm still waiting for the funds from TriStar, Mr. Combs' business manager. Who'd you contact with at TriStar? Robin Greenhill. Did you get a FaceTime from Mr. Combs from Jane's house? Yes. I dropped him at Jane's house with his supplies. Then he called me a couple of hours later. How did Mr. Combs appear in the FaceTime? Angry and annoyed? Could you see Jane's face? No, she was turned away. What did Mr. Combs ask? For me to say if there had been any other female on a trip he had been on, I said no.
He showed me co-signers,
no. How did you react during the FaceTime? Pretty normal, I thought. What did you do? I told Fahim and KK that Mr. Combs was arguing with his girl, that I was going to go pick him up. What is this? Messages between me, Fahim, and Sean Combs. June 20th, 2024, I wrote, I need cash for the guests, ASAP. Do you know what the money was for? No. Okay, now we heard previous testimony from Jane that Jonathan Perez was the assistant who helped set up the date night with Sean Combs last year. That date devolved into an argument when Jane accused Combs of taking another woman with him on a trip to Wyoming. The couple then physically fought. Jane testified, after which Combs allegedly forced her to perform SEX acts on another man in a freak-off. Jonathan then confirmed that he was told to pick up his boss, Sean Combs, from a date night that went terribly wrong last year and bring a large sum of cash for Combs' girlfriend, known to the court as Jane. Need $3,500 cash ASAP for his guests. Perez wrote to a text shown to the jury. I'm going to take it to her. This account corroborates Jane's previous testimony that Combs physically assaulted her, a fight she acknowledged she instigated, called an adult film star to her house for a freak-off. Jane said she protested and alleged that Combs made her let the man in, gave her an ecstasy pill, and ordered her to perform oral SDX on the unwanted visitor. According to Mr. Perez, he never saw Sean Combs strike a woman or anyone during his 3 years as the producer's assistant, he said under cross-examination. Perez agreed with the defense attorney, Brian Steele, that Combs dated many women at the same time, but said he didn't hear Jane argue with his boss about other women. The defense tried to paint Jane as an extremely jealous woman who was less upset about her freak-offs with Sean Combs than she was about his relationships with other women. Why did you leave working for Mr. Combs? To avoid a situation like this. How do you feel about Mr. Combs? Great. The same way as the judge says, Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele says, Mr. Combs is a motivator. Yes, he is. Have you seen Mr. Combs cry? Let me show you something. Give me 1 second. Your Honor, may I hand him a book? Yes, you may. 3605 material. Perez says, I can't remember if he was crying, but this does remind me that he was upset. Look again. It does not refresh, no. Okay, you say that there was a lot going on. Do you remember the March searches? Yes. You saw the news? Yes. Have you been in the bedroom at 2-Star? Yes. Did you ever see any guns there? No. Did you ever see him with firearms? Never. I only saw security.
He crying now? You go in that cell now? Right? I bet you see him crying.
He is a man respected in many fields. Objection, says prosecution. I'll ask this. Have you worked with any other celebrities? Yes. And many of them have security, right? They do. You mentioned Jane. Was she nice to you? Yes. You called Wild King nights personal nights, right? Yes. Mr. Combs worked long hours, right? Yes. Because you worked out of his home, sometimes business and personal got mixed, right? Correct. Setting up King nights, was that business or personal? Personal. And buying DRUGS? I'm not saying you did it often, but was that personal too, right? Yes. And buying lingerie for Jane, personal? Yes, personal. Did Jane always appear to you to be a willing participant in the Wild King nights? Objection. Overruled. Yes, always. A small amount of DRUGS, personal use? Objection. That's sustained. Can you estimate percentages of your work, business and personal? I say personal was about 1%. Mr. Combs needed help connecting his Bluetooth? Yes. He wasn't very tech savvy? No, he was not. Mr. Combs was working on an album pretty hard, right? Yes. You said that you and Mr. Combs were pretty close? Yes. But you're not saying it was sexual. I am not. The argument you saw on FaceTime, it was a verbal argument, not physical as you saw it, right? Right. You learned it was about jealousy? Yes. Jane was very jealous?
That was hearsay.
Objection. Sustained. You are about the same age as Jane? Yes. Was Jane a strong and independent woman? Yes. You made purchases in S3X stores with the company credit card? I did. But you don't know if Mr. Combs paid? I don't. The hotel was put in your name, the one you had to go set up, right? Yes. And if the room was registered as Sean Combs, there might be cameras outside, right? Right. We propose this exhibit. Objection. Do we need a sidebar, says judge? There are a number of objections. We probably do need a sidebar, Your Honor. Okay, time for sidebar. Okay, and now they're back from sidebar. Judge says you may proceed, but without showing this exhibit to the public in the gallery. Steele says, so, Mr. Perez. Prosecution says, make sure all screens are turned off. Steele says, these are between you and Jane. What did you say to her? I was setting up a Wild King night. She was telling me what to get. Steele says she is cooperating and setting it up. Here the chef says he's making avocado toast. She asked for hot tea and honey to go. With heart emojis, and you replied, I love to you. He's looking for smoke, and you wrote, coming. Yes. Your Honor, I don't have any further questions, says Steele. Judge says, Miss Smizer? Smizer says, was getting those things for Jane part of your job? Yes. Did you ever set up Wild King nights on vacation? No. We can turn the public screens back on. Thank you. This item, new hookah, is that personal? Not necessarily. And the baby oil, personal, part of your job? Yes. It was Tri-State, which designated the payments, not you, right? Right.
Tri-State costs always.
Thank you. Let me see attorneys at sidebar, says judge. And just like that, the jury
they lost today
for the weekend. But
they lost today.
Is dismissed permanently. This just in. At the conclusion of court on Friday, Judge Arun Subramanian dismissed juror number 6 over inconsistencies in statements he made about where he lived, raising questions of candor and ability to follow instructions. In an off-camera remark to the court staff, the juror mentioned that he moved in with his girlfriend in New Jersey and had been living there for most of the time. When questioned by the court, the juror said actually he was spending 4 to 5 nights in his New York apartment. So he said in follow-up questions, the juror said he moved to where his daughter lives with his girlfriend in New Jersey. During jury selection, this juror had answered in response to the simple and straightforward questions, where do you live or who do you live with? Bronx, with his fiance and daughter, Subramanian said. While this may seem trivial, the judge said it raised concerns about the juror's basic by the court. The juror said actually he was spending 4 to 5 statements he made about the payments, not you, right? Right. Nothing further.
Liar.
Let me see attorneys at sidebar, says judge.
You're a liar.
Just like that, the jury is dismissed for the weekend. But juror 6 is dismissed permanently. This just in.
Black man out.
Conclusion of court on Friday, Judge Arun dismissed juror number 6 over inconsistencies in statements he made about where he lived, raising questions of candor.
Brian still didn't get his way on this one. Brian still didn't get his way on this one. Yes, indeed. I'll let he a black man and you trying to remove all the black sounds of blackness from the trial. Diddy need all the black men who will understand that no don't mean no to a black man. No means yes in our ears. No to a black man means go harder, go harder. Don't stop, get it. Don't stop, can't stop. Don't stop, can't stop. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Brian still couldn't help him this time.
To juror number 6, over inconsistencies in statements he made about where he lived, raising questions of candor and ability to follow instructions. In an offhand remark to the court staff, the juror mentioned that he moved in with his girlfriend in New Jersey and had been living there for most of the time. When questioned by the court, the juror said actually he was spending 4 to 5 nights in his New York apartment. Subramanian said in follow-up questions, the juror said he moved to where his daughter lives with his girlfriend in New Jersey. During jury selection, this juror had answered in response to the simple and straightforward questions, where do you live or who do you live with? Bronx, with his fiance and daughter, Subramanian said. While this may seem trivial, the judge said it raises concerns about the juror's basic qualifications, the juror's candor, and whether he made a deliberate attempt to get himself onto the jury. The changing answers and inconsistency gives the court worry about deception and lying, which further implicate the veracity of other answers, including to questions that go to the heart of the case. Subramanian said that removal of this juror is required in this court's view. Defense attorney Xavier Donaldson lamented this case of a black juror because he says there are not enough black and Hispanic individuals serving on jury. So what I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about everything?
What y'all think? What y'all think?
In the life of Sean.
Brother out. Brother out. Another black man down. He lied. He don't know where he stay. Huh? Huh? What's she talking about? What's going on with Courtroom? Huh? What y'all think? Him sick. Him sick. So Ye couldn't stay. His partners testifying against him. What is this? I need to hurry up and get over to this one. I'm trying to hear what this one is about, though. I thought she heard one earlier. I'll get her tomorrow. Yes, indeed. Ooh, got that ass out. Ooh, I know Diddy's sick.
He was called on to purchase drugs for Combs.
That testimony taking place as Kanye West made a surprise appearance at the courthouse, and a juror was also dismissed.
Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles was in the courtroom this afternoon. She's live in Lower Manhattan. And Darla, another big day of developments.
Another big day of development today, and court is actually still going on right now as defense attorneys and prosecution attorneys go through evidence that will be admissible as we go into the testimony next week. But as you mentioned, today was a big day. We heard from a special agent who searched Combs' home in Los Angeles. We heard from a former personal assistant. All of this while another music mogul showed up to court. Friday morning, one hip-hop icon supporting another. Kanye West arriving in a Maybach at federal court in Lower Manhattan, where his longtime friend, Sean Diddy Combs, is standing trial for sex trafficking and racketeering. Eyewitness News, the only news outlet inside of an empty 23rd floor courtroom for a period of time, finding West standing in the middle of Combs' oldest son and godbrother, along with 2 bodyguards and 4 court officers. The gravity of the trial not lost on West at all, standing directly in front of the closed-circuit monitor that's transmitting from the 26th floor courtroom and staring with a loving intensity, awaiting Combs' return to his seat during a break, but West abruptly leaving after about 10 minutes as more people entered the courtroom, which felt like an interruption to a private moment for the rapper there in support of his friend. West leaving the courthouse just as the testimony of Jonathan Perez was getting underway, another former personal assistant to Sean Combs, also testifying under immunity.
Please double tap your screen, just like that.
Of Jane having sex with another man, presumably during a hotel night,
sex
and then
with
reported
a who?
it to Combs' chief of staff, Christina Coram. Of Jane Of Jonathan Perez was getting underway, another former personal assistant to Sean Combs. Also testifying under immunity, Perez describing how he once came across a video of Jane having sex with another man, presumably during a hotel night. And
y'all see that on the ground?
Chief of Staff,
oh my God. Y'all see all that in that hotel room?
During a hotel night.
Y'all see all that? Is that, oh, that's the floor. Oh, okay. I was finna say, I thought those was all, baby. I was about to say, you don't get your asses up out of here.
Another former personal assistant to Sean Combs. Also testifying under immunity, Perez describing how he once came across a video of Jane having sex with another man, presumably during a hotel night, and then reported it to Combs' chief of staff, Christina Coram. Jurors hearing an audio recording of Coram about 6 months later, with concerns the video had become public, asking Perez, "It is out, and I just need to know step by step where you found it. Don't leave anything out, please." The 35-year-old also telling the court that he too secured drugs for Combs and set up hotel rooms for what he knew to be King nights, the days-long drug-fueled encounters with male escorts, helping Jane pick out what she was going to wear. Defense attorneys asking, would you look for her lingerie? Perez answering yes. The goal was her to look good for Mr. Combs. Perez again answering yes. Did you ever get the feeling that she was hesitant of joining the King nights? No. Defense attorneys asking, did it appear to you that she was always willing? Perez again answering yes. Now, let's talk about the issue with juror number 6. What is happening right now with the dismissal of this juror is basically he doesn't live in the state of New York. He lives in New Jersey. The court citing the fact that he gave conflicting answers on his jury questionnaire, saying he had effectively a residence in the Bronx. He received some mail in the Bronx, but really lives in New Jersey. Lots of objections to this dismissal by defense attorneys for Sean Combs.
You're a liar.
Really disrupting the publicity of the jury because this is a 41-year-old black man. Judge Arun Subramanian says he will reserve the right to change his mind over the weekend. But at this point, that juror number 6, will be dismissed and will be subbed out with alternate number 1, which is a white male. Reporting live in Lower Manhattan, Darla Miles, Channel 7, Eyewitness.
White guy. Yeah, do he like rap? No, he's not a rapper. Oh my God. Okay, last one, because y'all don't have my likes up. Let's go. Last one. Let me see what I got marked. Y'all need to get my likes up. 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 Let's go. 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 Y'all, let's go. Get the likes up. Double tap the screen. Hit her cha-chas. Y'all can hit them. Hold on. Hold on. Y'all get the lights up. Y'all think I'm playing. What is this one? I'm trying to see. Is this? Oh yeah, we saw that one. Let's see. Group panic. Let's see. Let's go.
Effective, healthy blood pressure support takes more than
so y'all not gonna get the lights up?
Vision.
at Human, our plan was about what happened. I just left the courtroom. The judge extended the court for an extra hour. Now, a couple of things happened. You guys know what happened about juror number 6. The judge said that no, he was untruthful. Admissions, you cannot have that in a court of law. However, as I'm sure you've heard, okay, and I got a lot of notes, Xavier Donaldson, I believe, stood up and made an impassioned plea about the way the Southern District of New York, it's the Bronx, all the juries are usually all white. We cannot just exclude and let jurors go without giving him a chance to explain. He thought he should have been brought in, juror number 6, and explain.
I'm sorry. Y'all, I'm
because
gonna
the
go
juror
in
number
there.
6 goes, right? You have to look at the jurors. I thought they just pick one randomly, but a person moves over one, right? And if you move over one, that means he will be replaced by an older white gentleman. Xavier Donaldson said we need to look at the optics, okay? But you guys, I said, so here's the thing. The judge kicked everybody out the chambers. It was so dramatic. I waited. They started talking about the evidentiary chart, the summaries, all this like legal paperwork. And I stayed there for an extra hour. Why? Because I got some tea. Y'all, remember when we told you guys that Brendan Paul had flipped on Diddy and everybody was like, Tisa, what are you talking about? Tisa, what are you talking about? Do you not know that he just got, it was his first offense, so he got a rehab disposition program? And I said, I don't care what y'all say. I know what a flip looks like when I see one. Well, guess what? So does the federal government. Brendan called Paul. I was in the courtroom. I stayed an extra hour. He is confirmed to have flipped on Diddy, and he is testifying on behalf of the prosecution. And Nak, what's up? How y'all doing today? Listen. Listen, I was writing my notes down. I was doing everything. I just left the courthouse and had to run here. We stayed so close. The courthouse closes at 6 and you got to get off their property. That's why I had to run home because they were like, yeah, you can't go live on the property. I heard it with my own ears. Brendan Paul, Diddy's rug mule, is confirmed. I repeat, confirmed to be a surprise witness. And he
surprise!
I have the exact date, right? Potent Pondering said the pink eyeshadow is TASF. Y'all like it? Half the makeup wore off. I'm trying to do what I can. Shout out to Marie. Also, just a little bit for you guys. Don't forget, you guys can catch me on Nancy Grace. If you want to have a town hall, I'm going live on Spoutable. Chat with me. Think of Spoutable. It's a pod. The Diddy trial. You can ask me everything that went down. You can ask me how people were acting. You guys wanted me to start doing a weekly recap next week. The exact day he is going to be testifying is, hold on. I took so many notes. Gosh, too many notes, right? And here's the thing. Yes, you might be able to get this information from a tweet thread, but you guys, I was actually there. I heard the body language. I was watching all this unfold. This was no casual thing, okay? Brendan Paul is going to testify as Diddy's assistant. He's testifying on Monday. I repeat, Brendan Paul is testifying on Monday as Diddy's assistant. They said that Brendan Paul is in the employment, right? Now here's the thing. Diddy's team tried to get his testimony struck and saying he shouldn't be allowed to testify, and any messages from Brendan Paul shouldn't be included in the summary chart. The government is making the summary chart. We're going to talk about that in a second because that's really, really good to all these people saying, well, I don't believe Mia. I don't believe Jane. I don't believe Cassie. That's what happened. Let me see if I can move this around a little bit. That's what happens
now.
Bad juju.
You don't believe nobody.
Happens with the summary chart, okay? Now, he's testifying. The Diddy's team tried to get
Kanye
and to be like, no, I don't think it's fair that he has the right to.
What you trying to say down here?
I don't think he's fair. He doesn't have the right to say it because we don't know the nature of Brendan's employment. Well, according to Little Rod, Brendan's employment was as Diddy's rug mule. You know what the funny thing about this is, right? Diddy should have just paid Little Rod his $50K because he did not pay Little Rod his money. Little Rod's lawsuit looks like it was the basis for his house getting raided. And once his house got raided, everything else went down. But
It went down, down, down.
The smartest thing Diddy ever did was hire Mark Agnifilio, Yana, to speed track the trial. Because the feds were planning to investigate his mo, from what the streets are saying, for 2 to 3 years. The feds were planning to investigate him for a lot, get into international stuff. However, since Diddy rushed the trial to May, and they had to have, I think, the enterprise letter by, I think, like February 15th or the February 27th, that shortened what they can investigate. Little Rod's lawsuit was the basis.
I'm sorry, y'all.
His house getting raided, and once his house got raided,
hold on. I just knocked everything over. It's going back to Grubhub.
everything else went down, down, down. The smartest thing Diddy ever did was hire Mark Agnifilio, Yana, to speed track the trial, because the feds were planning to investigate his mo, from what the streets are saying, for 2 to 3 years. The feds were planning to investigate him for a lot, get into international stuff. However, since Diddy rushed the trial to May, and they had to have, I think, the enterprise letter by, I think, like February 15th or the February 27th, that shortened what they can investigate. But they still said, we went with the crimes that we know, and you've committed a lot of crimes, okay? You guys, also, 7 p.m. tonight, I pinned it in the chat. Join me on Spoutable. I'll be doing a live Q&A podcast, and of course, I will give you guys an ample opportunity to talk, right? Listen, when you say that the feds were on him since 2009, maybe New York State, maybe California, but the Southern District in New York didn't have Diddy on their radar until that Little Rod lawsuit and until that Cassie lawsuit. That's when Diddy got on the radar. Cassie and that Douglas Williams, even though he settled 24 hours later, that got Diddy on the Southern District of New York's radar. Little Rod's lawsuit got, in my opinion, got that search warrant rolling. All those people that think that Diddy might have offered Mia about $1 million or more to settle, saying, oh, sometimes it's cheaper just to settle with people, you're forgetting the fact that Diddy is notoriously cheap. So cheap that he actually got his own self-investigated, all because. So again, Brendan Paul, if you guys don't know who Brendan Paul was the man in Little Rod's lawsuit that he said that, yo, he's Diddy's rug mule. And he said that KK was his co-conspirator, right? Diddy's team said that's all lies. You can't believe Little Rod. He just be capping it up. However, when they raided him, they actually found Brendan with Diddy with the happy sack. Yep. Diddy love a pouch and he love a happy sack. With a happy sack full of rugs, right? A happy sack full of rugs, and that's how they got it. Now, when Brendan Paul was released, I said, that boy flipped. Y'all were like, you don't understand, if it's your first offense. And I said, y'all must be crazy. You don't know the way the feds work. The feds will lock up your grandmother if they can, if it will make you talk. The fact that this man, right? The fact that this kid from this good Midwest family, right? His family actually has some money. He met Brendan Paul, but he was a basketball player. Brendan Paul wanted to be a producer. He turned into Diddy's rug mule, setting up free calls for him and whatnot. Brendan Paul knows where all the bodies are buried, and they have all the text messages. Okay, they're also getting into summary charts. Right now, this is something we need to pay attention to. Abraham Robertson, T said, you're working your butt off, keeping us updated. You deserve all the success and the growth. Thank y'all. Also, Zandria Robertson.
Get the lights up, y'all, or I am about to end this.
No, it's going to be a different code word, all right? Jules,
double tap your screen.
Appreciate you.
Double tap your screen.
Live your truth.
Double tap his lips.
You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. Katrinka Payne said, AKA Grace's grandmother. Yay, you caught a live. Also, Chaos Forever said, to be honest, most of you, oh, stop it, Chaos Forever. Thank y'all so much. Okay, so Brendan Paul was a part of Little Rod's lawsuit. We get the fact that, again, the funny thing is, if Brendan Paul is testifying for the government And again, so they did the summary charge. What took so long while we were waiting to see what the judge did with the 6th juror? And we'll talk about that in the Spoutable pod. The link is there. Join me. We are going to have a live town hall discussion a la Twitter Spaces, right?
Yeah, we already know. Come on, baby girl.
I'm leaving here exactly and then going over to Spoutable.
Shout out to Tisa.
So you guys can talk back to me, right? You don't got to show your face. It's all going to be. Also, right? Hold on. Do I have power? What's going on with my phone? Oh, okay. So anyway, right? The whole point of the matter is, the reason I stayed so long is because they were doing exhibits for the summary chart. Now, this was actually very important, okay? The exhibits for the summary chart is something big. I think it actually might even be bigger than whether juror number 6 is struck, right? Because the summary chart ties everything together. I just thought it was linking hotel records to this and that. But it goes further. They're taking people's text messages that they got from the raid, D-Rock's, KK's, everybody's messages that they got in the raid from Diddy's phones and from the subpoena phones. And they're matching that up to not only timeline, but testimony. So when everybody was like, oh, Mia's a liar, but Mia said that she got a message from D-Rock and she threw the phone and she was so scared. And then Diddy reached out and then this and that. Not only do you have the messages tied to, this is where Mia testified to this. Here's the message from D-Rock. Here's what Mia testified. Here's the other message to D-Rock. Here's when she said that Diddy called her. Here's the other message tying it to this moment in the testimony. But it goes more because the summary chart actually shows, and guess what? Here's what was happening in the background. Like D-Rock was reaching out to Mia, and Mia was like, I knew this was Diddy trying to reach out to me. Guess what? They have the messages from D-Rock to Diddy being like, yo, I reached out. Yo, she ain't hit me back. Yo, what you want me to say? They had Diddy on the side texting her in between. So it'd be like, D-Rock texts Mia. D-Rock connects with Mia. And then it shows what's happening in the background. Diddy contacts D-Rock. Diddy tells D-Rock that says this to Mia. Diddy tells this and that. D-Rock's like, y'all, man, she not answering. All right, I'm going to reach out to her. It shows where all the people were testifying, what was going in the background, but it also proves the RICO that Diddy is the alleged mastermind. Because no matter who was talking to Cassie, who was talking to Jane, who was talking to Mia, who was talking to Capricorn Clark, who was orchestrating things with Kid Cudi, who was talking to who else, who sent the brand out, who else in that? No matter what was going on, Diddy was orchestrating everything and telling everyone what to say, what to do, whether Cassie could go walk, whether Jane could do this. Again, this
okay, I got 2 minutes. If those lights not up, I'm out.
Wait, here's all the actions, here's what the witnesses said, and here's how Diddy was.
You look like a whale swimming. That's what I heard from my mother-in-law while I was in the pool on my birthday, about 45 days ago.
Here's all the actions, here's what the witnesses said, and here's how Diddy was orchestrating. Oh, sorry. Here's how Diddy was orchestrating it, okay? I would have gone live from the courthouse. However, they shut that courthouse down at 6 o'clock, and I stayed till the very end to get you guys the tea. I know you could have read it on the tweet, but baby, aren't you glad you actually have my thing, right? Again, there was so much that was going on. Also, we're going to have to talk about juror number 6. Did you guys hear the reason why he's being excluded? If you don't, I'm going to give you all the dramatic reinterpretation, right? Also, Judge Aaron literally looked at Brian Still. Brian Still tried to bring that Fulton County nonsense into this
Bye, Leo.
Court. Brian,
you already know I'm finna go.
To stand there and make a thing about the court's been known about this. They've been known about juror 6. They've been known this. Brian Still stood up and did this whole grandstand about this is nothing new. Interesting enough, he's like, and now that there's all this talk about jurors nodding and smiling and Gina
testified the whole jury
they want to make an issue of it. Judge Aaron literally looked at Brian
Kanye not on there to testify.
Looked at Brian Still and said,
and Gina don't want to be drilled like Cassie and Jane.
No one knew about this.
She don't want to. She don't want to put her business out there like that.
This, okay? Again.
Hi, John. Hi, Tiffany.
I literally put lol.
Bye, y'all.
Brian Still. Oh, here's where we go, right? Brian Still was like, Your Honor. Hold on. He said, Your Honor, you know. after weeks of trial, we're like, what, on the 6th week of trial? After weeks of trial, and a voir dire that we were very intensive for, right? Right? And it's now that we see all this talk about, now that we see all this talk about jurors making faces and body language and all this stuff, and I said it's interesting the defense sees that. The defense must think juror number 6 is aware, right? Listen, and all this stuff. Now all of a sudden there's a problem with juror number 6. Your Honor, I think people are trying to game the system. Look, Your Honor, everybody knew about this. Everybody knew about this with juror number 6. And now y'all picking now when we're more than halfway through to make an issue. It seems like this is how people game the system, right? I feel like people saying, and the public's going to say, why are they doing this now? Why are you bringing juror number 6 up now? Why now? Listen, the whole time he was talking, I even saw Tina Garris go shaking her head like, right? Judge Aaron looked at Brian's doctor. He did this whole Young Thug YSL grandstand. And I get it. It worked in Fulton County because Fulton County had so much corruption. They were just so improper. It worked for Fulton County. But Judge Aaron is running a tight ship that is above reproach. Judge Aaron looked at them and said, what are you talking about? He literally was like, it was like a 12-second pause. What are you talking about? I literally put lol, right? What are you talking about? He said, I don't know about the defense and what you guys knew, but the court just found out about this. And the court found out about it by accident off of a throwaway that the juror number 6 said to somebody in the robing room. The robing room is the room that the jury waits in while they're waiting to be seated and called into court. He said, he's like, the explanation, he said, even when you talk about like, oh, we've known about this since voir dire, even when we asked juror number 6, what is your explanation? What say you? The explanation happened after voir dire. So how can you say the court knew? Again, it was very, very serious issues. And that would have been, had he been telling the truth or knew what he was talking about.
So he didn't even live in New York.
Mistrial. But unfortunately, he did not know what he was talking about. He did not, or whatever, and it just moved on, right? They said that the jury, right? Oh, also, interesting enough, Justin was sitting there, and maybe he was stretching, but Justin Combs was sitting there with his arms spread out, and on both sides, his fists were balled up, and he was squeezing them to the point of his knuckles, like his hands were.
I told you they know they lost pressure.
Over the, he was leaning over where the.
They mad. They big mad, little mad.
Sitting in the benches in the gallery, right? And his hands were outstretched, but they were balled up while the judge was talking about dismissing the juror, and they were turning bright pink. It was the oddest thing, right?
They mad.
Anyway,
they mad. None of they plots,
right?
Schemes. None of that shit worked today. They shut their ass down.
And the government stood up and was like, Your Honor, first the U.S. attorney was like, we just want to go on record that we knew nothing about. Listen, we knew. Listen, I don't know if Justin was rage or not, but I was sitting one row. There was one row in between us. I saw what I saw. Now, he could have been stretching over those things, but he was stretched out, looking at the judge, and his knuckles, he was squeezing his hands so tight, his